Hey guys, this is Tom Paul Tipton, your host for the Exchange Podcast. We're coming to you from Living Water Church in Conway, Arkansas. I'd like to welcome you back to another episode and say thank you to those who support this podcast with your contributions. Please like and share us on Facebook and get the word out, and like, subscribe, and share us on YouTube. Send any questions you have and join in on the exchange.
It's me again, just by myself, of course. No Thomas. He has another obligation to get to. Praying that he is being safe out there in this rain. Arkansas is getting a lot of rain right now. I know for those of you in California, it's an anomaly what rain is. It's where water falls out of the sky. But on to what I really want to talk about, which is Twitter. I don't have one, but I know that Twitter is a huge virtual social square, if you will, a public square where everybody comes around and gives their ideas. Some good, some bad, some really bad, and some atrocious. So I don't think I got off Twitter because it's always been bad for me. And but there are a lot of people on there that use it. And with Elon Musk acquiring Twitter, I think this is a good thing. So we're going to be talking about that. Got a lot of other things we're going to talk about. One of the sounds from the podcast was used on a TikTok of one of the young men I was talking about last time. It was just me by myself. I think everything that I said in that soundbite is still true today. My encouragement will always be, you go out, do your thing. If you're passionate about something, just keep working at it. Because if it fulfills you, if it satisfies you, if it gives you an opportunity to worship the Lord and be fulfilled in that way spiritually, then do it. That's awesome. Don't let anybody take that passion away from you. So shout out to Reese Rayborn for that TikTok and just all he's been doing in the gym. I also want to give a shout out to my wife, just because I love her and she's doing great. She's been working really hard. And I want to give a shout out to all of you. We've got 33 subscribers, and to think about that, to put in perspective for myself, that's a classroom. That's one classroom if you were teaching at a high school. That's, let's say 33 freshmen, and they're all listening in. Or, well, let's be real, if they're freshmen, they're not really listening too well, but I know you guys are. I hear some comments from certain listeners giving us feedback on sound quality, on certain discussions that we've been having. So I want to give you guys a shout out and thank you for that. We're really trying to hit that 100 subscriber mark on YouTube. And don't forget to check us out on Spotify, iTunes, Spreaker. Just give us a listen, give us a like, share with your friends. And here we go. We're going to be talking about Twitter. I pulled up an article from timcast.com. Title is Elon Musk to reportedly nix Twitter's lifetime ban policy. And the quote from Musk, I will be digging in more today. So a lot of things I want to say about this is just getting banned is so dumb, in my opinion. Unless it's of course, if you have, so let's get into the weeds of these things. So on certain websites, you can be banned from certain things. So for instance, there's a website called Discord, and it's just a communication website where people can talk to each other via chat, voice chat, video chat, all that. It's really big in the gaming sphere. So if you're playing video games with your friends, you can all get on Discord and talk and whatnot. And you can create these things called servers, and you can get banned from that server if the guy who's in charge, or girl, who's in charge of said server doesn't like you being there. Okay, sure, whatever. But when it comes to the majority of human beings with technology, I should say, has access to Twitter, and it's become pretty much that virtual square that I was talking about where people can come out and give their opinions and voice what they want to say, then bans at that point just fuel the fire of whoever you were trying to ban. For instance, many of you probably have heard the name Andrew Tate. He was banned everywhere. I'm sure I'm sure if you mention his name, some people might get mad, but he was banned on Twitter, on YouTube, on Instagram, Facebook. I believe Uber said they won't allow him to use their services. And again, those companies can do that. The ones I'm stressing on for banning is Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, because those are, with Twitter being at the top, those three are the public square. And people think that's strange, but have a lot of people, how many people are live on Instagram? How many people tweet something and it gets millions of hits? How many people are on Facebook still somehow, or Meta is what it's called. But banning somebody from those platforms, all you're doing is just emboldening what they said. Something that I learned in college was, if somebody has a bad idea, challenge said bad idea. You can't just say your idea is dumb and then, well, why don't you like it? Well, it's just dumb. That's not a valid reason for another human being, because they're not going to grasp the idea. They're not you. You may understand why it's dumb to you, but if you can't cohesively give a reason, then you're foolish, and their idea might not be that dumb. If you can't even explain it, then you have nothing to say. Because most of the time when somebody has an idea, and I'll invoke his name, Donald Trump, and people don't like him. I get it. I really do. I don't agree with all of his things. I don't like everything that he says. However, when you ban the president from the public square, former president, I should say, then yeah, we have a problem. Because what happens to the little guy? What happens to the person who's just saying, hey, I don't really like this idea, and then you get blasted off of Twitter? Well, according to this article, looks like Elon's getting rid of that. That's a good thing. That is a good thing when you take away those bans. And I mean, look, don't get me wrong. I think temporary bans, for instance. No, I'm not even going to say that. Okay, so temporary bans are dumb too. I think bans are bad because even like Ethan Klein, who said he wanted to, he would be fine if somebody like Ben Shapiro in the Great German Cook-Off of the 1940s were to happen again. He'd be fine with Ben Shapiro being evaporated first. The reason I said it a certain way is because I don't know YouTube's terms of service all that well, so I don't want to get this video taken down or anything like that, or a strike on our channel. So you have people saying things like that. I don't even think those should be banned unless, and this is a big unless you are calling for violence. So for instance, if you get on Twitter, if you get on YouTube, if you get on Facebook, and you just start saying, I want somebody to go down to this location at this time with this type of tool or weapon, and I want them to do harm here. Those people, first of all, that's a crime. So yes, a website should be able to ban you if you are committing crimes. And then, other than that, you shouldn't be banned for just what you think or what you say. Okay, so anything less than a crime, which freely speaking about things is okay. And, from this article, it says Twitter's new owner, Elon Musk, reportedly plans to get rid of the company's policy of imposing lifetime bans for users violating the platform's content moderator policies. Musk, who secured his $44 billion acquisition of Twitter late Thursday, previously expressed interest in restoring access to the accounts serving lifetime bans, including former President Donald Trump, who was shortly banned after the Capitol riots on January 6, 2021. Yeah, look, I don't see a problem with bringing people back and allowing them to defend their positions. Whether they get challenged or not, whether they take the challenge of their ideas and try to defend them, that's fine. It's the public square. You can be ignored. You can be talked to. No one, you are not entitled to everyone's opinion of your opinion of their opinion. That it's just let people speak and let people come up with their own ideas. Are some people, I'll just say, are some people too dumb to understand what's going on? Yes, I say dumb, but obviously ignorant or foolish would work too, but I think dumb gets the point across a little bit better because in reality, some of us are dumb. And we make dumb decisions off of things like we just read the title of an article and go, oh, must be real. And sometimes we see someone's tweet because, let's be honest, 140 characters, or maybe, I think it's like, it's higher than that, I think now, but even then, you can't really get a decent thought in on Twitter. You can do snippets, but some people take a phrase, quote tweet it, and then totally throw things out of whack, and everybody's thinking, well, I don't know what's going on, but it says here that this guy, he says he hates bacon, but we all know that he just hates pigs, all that type of stuff, or he hates cops. It's not, you can misconstrue somebody on Twitter very easily. But just because you can do that doesn't mean you should be banned, and doesn't mean people have to listen to what you have to say. Just like nobody has to listen to what I'm saying right now. Which again, we thank you for those who are listening. Thank you. But no one, you're not entitled to the attention of anyone else. And therefore, when you scream and yell, oh my gosh, Donald Trump said this, or Kanye West said that, which, I get it, guys. He made graduation, but that doesn't mean he gets to just go all wild and out on the Hebrew people like that and not have people upset. But just because they say certain things doesn't mean they should get banned. You don't get banned because of what you say. You get banned for inciting violence or committing a crime but man, it's such a like mental gymnastics to just understand how people go about with this type of rhetoric or these ideas. So, all in all, this is just me. I think Elon Musk buying Twitter, I think that's a good thing. That was my best Bernie impression, but I do think it's a good thing. And so I'm super excited about it, and there are multiple different news outlets who are saying, "Oh my gosh, democracy is out the window. If Elon Musk owned Twitter in 2008, Obama wouldn't be president." People just getting insane. That's just so weird. Elon Musk's not taking anything from anybody. He's giving things back. All right? It's a thing. It's really hard for me to see the problem here. Because if somebody came to me and said, "Hey, I'm gonna make sure that you get to say whatever you want," I would say, "Thank you. I appreciate that. That's good." I mean, people getting upset about that, they have no concept of reality at this point. If they're really going to be saying that Elon Musk is a bad thing for this country on Twitter. I mentioned his name, but I'm going to segue into this next thing. Kanye West, one of, if not the greatest artist of this generation, he's made some really good music. That doesn't give him, leeway for not be criticized for the comments he's made about Jewish people, anybody who's Hebrew. Anti-Semitic remarks are bad. I'm just going to say that. I think that's no surprise. But Kanye West being banned from banks, they closed down the private school he opened. Because here's the thing. If somebody opens a school for kids and it's doing well, I don't know if it's doing well because I don't have kids and I'm not looking into that much. But come on, man, a bank is shutting down because of remarks. Again, this kind of goes back into the whole Twitter thing and people just saying things and then losing their livelihoods or anything like that because they said something. Just like Ethan Klein saying he wanted bad things to happen to Ben Shapiro, and I'm saying I don't want Ethan Klein to be banned even temporarily, Kanye West shouldn't be losing any type of banking opportunities because of what he said. Sure, the other companies like Adidas, I think, dropped him this week. Gap dropped him. Certain companies are not picking him up because of what he said. Those companies, they can do business with whoever they want. And if they deem somebody not worthy of doing business with, cool. That's up to them. However, it is still insane to me that, and I hate when people go, "Oh, you just sound like a conspiracy theorist," because it's so easy to throw that term out. But it is kind of crazy that Jeffrey I did atrocities towards young women. Epstein had, well, because he was, he's unalive, had a bank account after all that went down. I mean, how many times was he was brought in and it was confirmed that he was doing things with kids? He still had a bank account. But here comes Kanye West saying some very inflammatory things that were really bad. And I do not condone it. I do not defend it in terms of what he said. But I will fight back against the consequences that come of that. He lost deals that, and no, I'm not shedding a tear because he went from a billionaire to just 100 millionaire. I'm saying, again, if it can happen to someone like Kanye, someone who was formerly a billionaire, now I'm still a multimillionaire, of course, a billionaire who says some very outlandish remarks, and he just loses all that stuff because of what he said. But then we have people like Epstein and others having so many things that they've done that are not only atrocities towards children, but we have people who have been traitors to this country, who have betrayed the integrity of the stock exchange. It's absolutely insane. How are you going to go after a man's livelihood because he said that about Jewish people? Because the reality is he just said words. We've all heard these words. You hear these things about black people. You hear these things about Hispanic people. But I don't want somebody to lose their livelihood by force. Listen, if people don't like him, then they won't buy his shoes. But they will buy his shoes because everybody likes Yeezys. If people don't like him, they'll stop listening to his music. Yeah, that's not going to happen anytime soon because, again, probably one of the best, if not the best, of this generation, musically. And, let the public opinion come up with it. But, he just got nuked. I don't want that to happen to anybody. I don't want that to happen to Andrew Tate. I wish it didn't happen to Trump. I wish it didn't happen to Ethan Klein. There's a streamer that I vehemently disagree with named Hassan Piker, and I don't want him to be gone. I don't want him to be nuked off of the internet for some of the things he said. And to give a little context to the Hassan Piker, he's once gone on, not on stream, but on the Young Turks, I believe, saying, the U.S. deserved 9/11. Pretty insane. But nobody's taking anything away from him, and they shouldn't. So, that you have to really think about those things. You have to think about, okay, if people like Donald Trump, Kanye West, Ethan Klein are being banned, temporary ban, all these types of things, and they're taking those things away from them, why wouldn't they take it away from people like you and me? And I'm going to shift into talking to those who are believers, because even if you're not a believer, just understand that when you do become a believer and you are a Christian, that persecution's coming. And that's where we get to hold fast in Christ. That's why I'm not going to take that disrespect because I don't have to worry about it. Do what you want to me. My family and I both, me and my wife, that's my family at this point, we both know that being a Christian has consequences that the world deems necessary eventually, and we've accepted that. And so those who are believers, be mindful of that. Be mindful of what's coming. Because if they can deem, hey, you said something bad about, Jewish people, the bar can change to, hey, we really don't like you because of what you... I mean, it's happening now. I mean, be honest. You've seen people get banned because of what they say about trans people or people of the LGBT community. I mean, I was having a discussion with somebody and I said, what do you think's worse? The bundle of sticks word for the LGBT community or the N-word with a hard R for black people? Which one do you think you'll get in trouble more in public? And it's a moot point because it might be one or the other, depending on where you're at. And it's like, I agree we shouldn't say those words, not because I think people should be able to censor you, but I'm of sound body and sound mind that those words are going to just, upset someone. And if you know that and you're just saying it and you know it and you say it, you're just trying to get a rise out of people. I don't think that's okay. Peacemakers and everything, right? But what I'm getting at is eventually those of us who are believers, there will be something that we say and the internet's going to deem not clean, and they will come after you eventually. And no one's coming. Getting nuked off the internet isn't the persecution that the Bible's talking about. I'm talking about when it does become a bodily harm in the future. I'm sure. You look at different countries where Christians are, and they are being bodily harmed. That's the persecution right now. It is happening in this world, not in America, because in America, I'm still able to defend myself and, still get a trial by my peers instead of, letting somebody just kill me and my family. What do I mean by that is that those of us who are Christians in America, guys, you're not being persecuted because someone disliked you on Facebook. Let's be honest. But the correlation of eventually it's going to get to the point where simply talking about Christianity will be a problem. And then people will be inclined to take your livelihood, try to take things away from you. And so it's just a be wary, be understanding of those things. So my prayer for those who are listening, those who are either believers or non-believers, my prayer is to continue to be in your word on that. Because that's where we need to be. And for the rest of us in this country, watching these things happen, socially, we're watching Twitter change with Elon Musk. Cool. I'm not an Elon Musk fan, but I do think he is the wild card for a lot of people. Does kind of challenge the status quo, and I think you've heard what I think, and so what do you think? Give me what you think down in the comments. Send us a message on Facebook, however you see fit to communicating with us. But with that and the Kanye West situation, it's just absolutely mind-boggling to see how there's a plus and a minus happening this whole week. I don't think anybody should ever be banned on any service, and I don't think anybody should be taken out of the public square just because they say something you don't like. I didn't like what Kanye West said. Let's make that clear. Did not like him saying what he said about Jewish people. But I'd much rather have people have an opportunity to bring him on and be like, hey, what did you mean by that? That's all I'm saying. And again, with these solo episodes, with me at least, I like to keep them pretty short and sweet and to the point. So once again, I want to give a shout out to Reese Rayborn. Continue to keep working out there. And I also want to give a shout out to Josh. You know who you are. You're one of Reese's friends. I can't remember your last name, Josh, but he also went to the same high school that I taught at. But I want to give a shout out to Josh because he's a hard worker too. I mean, something that I want to leave off with is find a young person who's working hard and continue to encourage them in that, because not a lot of young people are hearing this, but specifically for Josh on this one. Josh, you're working really hard. You're doing a great job with band. I see you working hard in the shop. He works at a mechanic shop that works on my car. That's kind of how I know him and some of his family. And Josh, I know you got a lot of determination to go to college and work in music. Go for it, man. I love seeing you guys work hard, everybody out there, you guys listening, give us a like, share, subscribe. Listen to us on Spotify, Spreaker, iTunes. And, just want to praise God for all of this. Love you, Sarah. Love you guys. Have a good night.